We're a few hours away from the official start to the Republican convention in Grand Forks.
That's right. We have team coverage of the event starting right now with reporter Molly Martinez, who's bearing the cold outside of the Alara Center in Grand Forks. Molly, good morning to you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like a balmy 78 right now in Grand Forks. Just kidding. Yeah, you know, opening gavel is going to sound in a couple hours, but already a lot of these races are making a lot of noise. We already know Representative Kevin Cramer is a shoo-in for the party's choice for Senate, but the real question is, who will replace him in the House? I spoke with Tax Commissioner Ryan Rauschenberger, who is also up for re-election, who says that's actually the race to watch.
Coming up convention, we've got a strong congressional race. We've got 5 different candidates running for that spot right now, and really excited for the Republican Party this year. Good, strong candidates across the board, incumbents and for the open house seat, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend in Grand Forks, and should be a lot of fun.
We've got live coverage all day, hopefully inside. Coming up in the next half hour, I spoke to Kevin Cramer and got to the bottom of how much this race is actually going to cost. Live in Grand Forks, I'm Molly Martinez. Back to you guys who are indoors.
Oh, Molly, thank you. Stay warm.
Yes,
That wind, her hair was going in the breeze.
I think on Kurt's map it said that Grand Forks right now is 20 below almost. So
Poor Molly.
Ooh, that wind chill, pretty cold.
Well, today more than 1,500 delegates will make their way to the Alara Center in Grand Forks for opening day of the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, Molly Martinez is braving the cold. I think the wind chill is like below 16 right now in Grand Forks. So Molly, what can we expect for today?
No, we wised up. We came inside and now we have a whole new lease on life. I highly recommend staying indoors today. Indoors today here at the Alara Center, a lot's going to go on. There's some big decisions to be made. One thing we know for sure, Kevin Cramer will be squaring off against Heidi Heitkamp for Senate. I caught up with him this week and asked how much money will be dumped into this race, and he told me something interesting.
I think it's going to end up costing a lot. It's probably going to end up costing more than it's worth to somebody. I think both Senator Heitkamp and I will have more than enough money to win, and one of us will lose.
Coming up in the next half hour, I will tell you why the House race is actually being called the one to watch. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in Grand Forks. I'm Molly Martinez.
We're going to check in with reporter Molly Martinez.
That's right. She's at the Alara Center in Grand Forks, where she'll be covering the North Dakota GOP convention all weekend. Molly, what can we expect?
Hey, Mark and Liz, the Alara Center here is going to be a hotbed of activity for the next 2 days. Today's opening gavel for the GOP convention, and a lot of big decisions are going to be made right behind me past these doors. That includes who is going to fill Kevin Cramer's soon-to-be vacant House seat. There are 5 people in the running, all qualified candidates, and they're going to narrow that down to 1 this weekend. I spoke to a political scientist who says North Dakota is a little bit different because you don't necessarily need the party endorsement at the convention to end up on the ballot. So it's not necessarily the end-all be-all. Speaking of Kevin Cramer, he's the big race. This is it. He's gunning for Senator Heidi Heitkamp's spot. I spoke to him. This is going to be a consequential race, and it's going to be a very expensive one. Preliminary reports say $10 million, but it might be a lot more than that. We've got full team coverage all weekend. You can follow us on social media, too. We hope you stay with us, your election leader. Back to you guys. I'm Molly Martinez in Grand Forks. Hey, Alan and Monica, registration has been open for a couple hours, but the Alara Center is still buzzing.
Yeah, it definitely is. Party committees have been meeting throughout the afternoon to hammer out any details for their platform. Now, the endorsement process begins tomorrow. A number of the party's candidates are uncontested in their primary races, including Tax Commissioner Ryan Rauschenberger. Well, coming to the convention helps set the tone for his campaign moving forward. Rauschenberger has his sights already set on November's general election.
Between myself and my challenger, we have very different views about the way the tax structure in North Dakota should look, and we'll be pointing that out. I'll be expressing my views and my philosophy in North Dakota. I believe that we should expand the tax base in North Dakota, not raise tax rates.
Rauschenberger's challenger is Kylie Overson. She's a 29-year-old Democrat who served in the state house from 2013 through 2016. And she also chairs the state's Democratic Party. Not all of tomorrow's endorsements will be as cut and dry as Rauschenberger's, though. And Molly, the Secretary of State race is heating up.
That's absolutely right, Marcy. The Secretary of State race is going to be one to watch. On one side, you have incumbent Al Jaeger, who has held the office since 1992. On the other side, you have newcomer Will Gardner, who says the old system is outdated and it's time for a change. But Jaeger says his experience will help him win votes.
I stand on my record. I think that we have a good record. You know, there are things that get brought up, but the rest of the story really isn't told. Well, the story is my record.
Over the last, 20 years in office, he's the only secretary I've ever voted for, so I will say that. But the challenges are a lot different than they were.
Now, these races will be decided tomorrow. It's the big day of convention. It's also when Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke takes the podium. You'll want to stay with us for all of the action. We have full team coverage all weekend. Stay with us, your election leader. This is a race to watch. It's old school versus new school. Secretary of State Al Jaeger first took the oath of office more than a quarter century ago.
And I've been on the ballot 7 times, and people in North Dakota have really blessed me. They've voted for me, allowed me to do what I think a good job for them.
He's seeking re-election, but not without an intra-party challenger. Local Mandan business owner Will Gardner is joining the race, saying a reboot is long overdue.
25 years of great service, that's fantastic. But now having a different perspective can really help change things in the office and bring things to the next generation that we want.
Jaeger says his familiarity with the job will give him an edge.
You know, there are so many different duties in the Secretary of State's office. It isn't just about technology. I have over 30 different duties, and they all require good judgment, experience, background.
Jaeger acknowledges that technology is the driving force and is the future of running elections in our state, and he vows to keep us on the cutting edge. But Gardner isn't so sure.
Well, first of all, he doesn't have a campaign website, so I mean, that speaks to some of the problems in the office. You can say as much as you want. We have had $5 to $7 million in IT projects that have been canceled.
Jaeger says the most important part of the race is not to lose sight of the reason they're running.
Even though I'm elected through a political process, that the office is not political. The office is to serve the people of North Dakota.
And for 25 years, that's what he's strived to do.
Over the last, 20 years in office, he's the only secretary I've ever voted for, so I will say that. But the challenges are a lot different than they were.
We'll have all of these election results tomorrow. We hope you stay with us, your election leader. In Grand Forks, I'm Molly Martinez, West Dakota, Fox News at 9.
Volunteering to actually running for office, the party's young people are working to make names for themselves here at the convention this weekend. 22-year-old Ben Olson graduates from UND this spring. In addition to his studies, for the past 16 months, Ben has been working to help make this year's GOP convention a reality.
The biggest thing is being raised by a single mom is creating opportunity. We earned our way through this world. We want to make sure that other people in North Dakota will have that same opportunity.
He's invested in the issues, so much so that he's running himself. He's expected to get the GOP endorsement to represent the 43rd District in North Dakota's State House.
Hey, Sierra Heitkamp, yeah.
20-year-old Sierra Heitkamp bears an obvious likeness to her distant cousin, Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp. Their politics, though, are much different. This is Sierra's 5th Republican convention.
You learn how the state system works, and then when you do encounter an issue, you have those networking systems, you have those people you can reach out to get help. Or if you want to do your own change, then that's when you run for office, like Ben Olson.
The men and women who are currently in office say they welcome the fresh ideas and any potential challengers.
It was 16 years ago that in this very room, this very ballroom, was my very first GOP convention, so in 2002, and developing the youth of the party is extremely important.
After all, it wasn't that long ago they themselves were the party's youth.
I was a young chairman a long time ago. I was 30 years old. I was the youngest chairman in the country, and that was in 1992. And we began a youth movement.
Representative Kevin Kramer says he'll rely on everything he's learned over his years in politics in his upcoming general election against Senator Heidi Heitkamp. For West Dakota Fox News at 9, I'm Marcy Bollinger. Well, Cynthia, I don't know if you can see him. Oh, he just stepped away. The governor was just behind me posing for photos here at the convention. One of the highlights so far here has been a moment that was expected and anticipated for months. Representative Kevin Kramer accepted the party's endorsement for U.S. Senate.
Nominate Kevin Kramer to be the next U.S. Senator from the great state of North Dakota.
A formality for a long-foreseen endorsement. Representative Kevin Kramer's nomination for Senate was seconded by Senator John Hoeven.
I've known Kevin for many years, and Kevin has always put North Dakota first. He's a man of deep faith. He's a man of strong family values.
While Kramer touched on those values in his speech to party delegates, he focused on the issues, including border security, tax reform, and job creation, vowing to continue rolling back Obama-era regulations.
They have guilted the American people into surrendering opportunity and prosperity. Well, I say no more. No more.
He also talked about the woman he's hoping to unseat, Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp.
You've heard of Heidi's friends, haven't you? Right? Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama. Oh, how about Hillary Clinton? Let's hope she keeps coming back.
Kramer leaves the U.S. House after 3 terms, hoping to continue serving the people of North Dakota in the Senate.
So to all North Dakotans, I say, thank you so much for giving me this honor to serve God by serving you.
Now, Heidi Heitkamp's campaign is swinging back. They issued a statement just after the endorsement saying Kramer, quote, puts partisan politics and his political career ahead of the people he's elected to serve.
As Marcy mentioned, the issues taking precedent this cycle are national defense, energy, and jobs. But I spoke to one delegate who's got a couple other items on his list.
I don't want to see any more gun control. You see what's going on in Florida. $15 an hour minimum wage, I don't think that would be good for the state of North Dakota either.
Why? Beard added he has not held a minimum wage job since he was a child. But the big news of the day happening right now behind me. They are counting votes for who will fill Kevin Kramer's soon-to-be vacant seat in the House. There are 5 candidates. They were each given 15 minutes today to make their pitch, and momentarily we will know who the party's endorsing.
Al Jaeger has served in the office of Secretary of State for the last 25 years. Tonight, delegates here at the convention sent a clear message. They're ready for change. Challenger Will Gardner told delegates in his nomination speech that our system is outdated and that he has the knowledge to change it. Jaeger made an appeal to voters based on his experience.
We hear this thing about, if I were Secretary of State, I would be this, and I would be vocal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a legal action. This is not where you go out and make pronouncements.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will do what I've done for our business, for the Secretary of State's office. I will bring it to the 21st century. And I will stop wasting millions of dollars on failed IT projects.
We spoke with Al Jaeger after the votes were tallied this evening. He tells us he's considering his options. He could certainly move forward to the primary without the party's endorsement. In Grand Forks, Marcy Bollinger, NBC North Dakota News.
They're cleaning up shop here at the Alaris Center, throwing away political posters that a few hours ago held so much hope.
And Kelly Armstrong, 847.
And with that, North Dakota Republicans named Kelly Armstrong their choice to fill Kevin Kramer's soon-to-be vacant seat in the House.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
But the road to the podium was a long one. Earlier in the day, 4 challengers took to the stage to ask delegates for their votes.
I'm going to Congress to fight for you.
Please, if you are looking for a candidate that truly understands you, vote me.
Look at South America. They have no Second Amendment. The poor cannot defend themselves against a tyrannical government or the drug lords.
For leadership, and I'll end it here.
But this nomination isn't the end-all, be-all for Armstrong. He may have to strong-arm some of these contenders down the road.
You don't have to get convention endorsement to win. We've seen that in the past.
Political science professor Dr. Jeanette Larshus says numerous elected officials in North Dakota didn't score the nod, but went on to win on Election Day. And for Campbell, that's an option he's keeping on the table.
Right now, I'm going to kind of see. I've always planned on winning and then going to the primary. That's kind of what I'm planning to do, and I'm going to see if talk to some people if things don't work out like that, to see if I want to honor a convention. I'm considering that as well.
One challenger we know for sure, Democrat Mac Schneider. The two will square off until one goes to Washington. Win or lose, it is going to be a very long road to November. In Grand Forks, I'm Molly Martinez, NBC North Dakota News.